That's Paul McCartney and indeed Lulu, and a well played by me, but by nobody else really. And I'm not blaming anybody else. It's just you don't hear that too often. That's called Inside Thing. Paul McCartney and Lulu. See me enjoying myself there.
I play it all the time.
No, you don't.
Ask Janet.
Yes.
Janet, does he play it all the time?
Yes.
I was playing it long before you were playing it.
All right then.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see myself enjoying myself there? Did you see myself messing with it?
I did. That's it.
I almost danced around the studio.
Yeah.
You know, this is something that the people don't know. Do you know when Hugo says? Do you know when Hugo says he dances around the floor and all when he's playing? He's sitting there with a big face on him. Yeah. But I'm the only one who actually does that. But I don't say that I'm enjoying myself dancing around the studio. But you know how I enjoy myself. I enjoy my music. It's important to me. Good morning, everyone. The number to ring if you want to contact this programme is 08459 555 678.
What album's it from?
It's, tell them.
No, you tell them.
I forget.
Yeah, go on.
Go on, you tell them.
No, you tell them.
Tell them.
No, go on.
Tell them.
It's your song. You're the only one that plays it.
Tell them what album it's from.
No, go on, you do.
It's from Vacation.
No, it's not.
Holiday Home. What's it from?
I'm not telling you.
All right. No, you're not telling me. You're withholding the information from the listeners. No. The listeners who deserve it. After all, they're listening to Radio Ulster, paying their licence fee.
It's a Lulu album.
I know it's a Lulu album, but Paul McCartney is guesting on it. Yes. What's it called? I can't recall. Together. Thanks. That was like pulling teeth from a hen. Right then. Listen, lingering. Oh, I didn't finish the announcement there. 08459 555 678. Let me just do that again because I hesitated. I stumbled. I pinked. 08459. Is that my home number? What was that? Is that the right number I'm giving?
08459.
Sometimes I give my mobile number, you know. I gave my mobile number one day, nobody noticed, nobody rang. I was raging. 08459 555 678. Please call. After all, this is your BBC.
BBC.
It's for you. Yeah. And the text messaging service is 81771. Email address is jerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk. And I know that's a little fast, but you're all smart out there.
Did you watch the Spurs match?
No.
Good match.
Spurs match? Who are they playing?
They're playing AC Milan, I think it was.
Wonderful. What was the result?
No score.
No score? What does that mean in the overall scheme of things?
The Spurs went through.
Good. Excellent. What about West Bromwich Albion? Are they through?
No, it was very good. Good. Another step near the England manager's job for Harry.
Harry who?
Harry Redknapp.
Harry Redknapp is the most sincere man I think I've ever heard talking.
Is the what?
The most insincere man I've ever heard talking.
I don't think so. I think he's good.
You just know you wouldn't believe a single word he says.
No, I think you're wrong. I think
it's like a barrel boy.
No,
come on.
I think
anyway, listen, lingering resentment. Isn't it amazing how long these things last?
He'll be a good manager for England.
No, they'll never get near it. I was just wondering, do you remember I went on a vacation a little while back?
Yes.
There's lingering resentment at yourself and Gerry Kelly's stint. And I shouldn't read this out, but I think it's important. I was very glad to hear you return to the airwaves after your little vacation, as they say over here in Motown, is in Detroit. Since I entered the #1 local profession in Detroit, which is unemployment, I've started listening to your programme on a daily basis using the Radio Ulster podcasts. A wonderful invention. Sean seems like a very nice person. But the first week you were away, I swear my laptop started to turn into a time machine. He was announcing everybody's requests, cleverly mentioning the terrible songs they were asking for whilst not actually playing most of them, although he did play a lot of them. I was convinced that nobody could play these requests, that is, until Gerry Kelly came in. I swear to God. Gerry's playlist was taken from the last night I played with the show band at the Cushendall Marquee in 1973, and that was a very bad year for marquees in Cushendall. That was before I embarked on a career adventure as a folk music bass player. God help me. On this side of the Atlantic, your absence was a frightening warning of how radio could be if we're not careful and be vigilant. Love the mix of local performers you get on the air lately. Best of love to you and Sean. Maybe Sean could say hello to my cousin John Higgins at the Ballycastle Golf Club the next time he has a round there, and perhaps when he does say hello to him, he would use the voice of Graham McDowell. Do you want to practice saying hello to John Higgins at Ballycastle?
I think it was... No, you see, all those comments have put me down.
No, but he was doing it with his tongue in his cheek.
I said that a girl.
Francis? No, Francis.
No,
Frank. His name is Frank Kennedy.
Oh, no, the letters sound female.
Oh, I didn't think so.
I did.
Say, practice saying hello to John Higgins at the Ballycastle Golf Club as Graham McDowell. Hello, John. Happy birthday, John.
Yeah,
this is from Frank Kennedy, who's in Detroit. who's now unemployed.
He's not as bad as he was, in fairness to
No,
Graham.
he's a very nice guy.
Graham's not as bad as he was.
He's a very nice guy, but you know how...
very, very nice.
He's a nice guy, but
I've never met him, but apparently anyone who have met him says he's very down to earth. Nice guy.
I'm sure he is, and I see no reason why I should challenge that opinion. But all I'm saying is I'm very, very interested in people who are half American and half Northern Irish. I'm very interested in that accent because, as you know, we talked about this programme ad nauseum, I suppose, about how close the Northern Ireland accent is to the American accent. Now, there was a man on the other night, he was the ombudsman, some kind of ombudsman, not a real ombudsman, but a kind of a tiny ombudsman. And I was sitting in the house trying to figure out if he was an American who was working in Northern Ireland or a Northern Ireland guy who'd been an American.
Yeah.
And he was great. He was talking like that.
Yeah, that's
and he was
right.
talking about one thing and another. But you just couldn't figure it out. Now, if it was a Scottish person, speaking with an American accent, you would know if they were Scottish, but you wouldn't know with him because his whole accent sounded either completely Northern Ireland or completely American. You couldn't make up your mind whether he was from here and working here or from there and working here, which is because the accent is so... And when Graham McDonald's speaking like that, it's very difficult sometimes to realise where he's actually from, if he's from Port Stewart or indeed if he's from Detroit or Miami.
There's a complaint, and I noticed that.
Come on.
Oh, by the way, if Graham McDowell...
Come on, bring them on, bring them on.
If Graham McDowell's listening, tell Graham I'm short of Titleist balls.
Excuse me?
Golf balls. Titleist.
Janet, plug your ears with cotton wool. He's on one today.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. It's a malapropism. Go ahead. Go on, bring on the complaint.
Gerry is talking too fast.
I know I'm talking
Why
too
is
fast.
That? I noticed that.
I'm talking too fast because
Why
I'm
are you
excited.
Talking fast today. Hey?
Please thank the kind and honest person
I heard someone. I'm not going to mention any names. But
who
someone
handed
on
my
the
purse.
radio
Who
this
handed
morning.
my purse into B&Q a couple of months ago and didn't leave their name or address. That's from Marie Claire, who appreciates very much getting her purse back, which she lost in B&Q a couple of months ago.
I heard someone this morning on the radio say no names mentioned, all right, but they were reading the weather forecast. And
Yes.
They were going that fast, you couldn't understand a word that... Well, you could understand what I was saying, but you said, what's the weather forecast? What's she talking about?
Would you please play a birthday request?
Janice said Lillian's going out.
Congratulations, Gillian.
Lillian, she's on one.
Oh, sorry, Lillian. Good morning, Lillian. You're going out, aren't you? When was the last time you were out? 1968?
I give you a kick in the hood.
What can we do for you today?
I would like you to play a request for me for my friend Doris. It's her birthday today, and you do it every March for me. She goes away for 7 months to Malaga.
Malaga? Goes away for 7 months?
Yeah.
And he goes away at this time of the year?
She does, yeah. She goes away in November.
March,
home
April,
around about
May.
June.
March, April, May, June, July, August, September. September, she goes away until September.
She goes away from November. Gerry, will you keep up and listen?
I'm sorry, November?
She goes away from November and comes home roughly in June.
That's the kind of life I would eventually like to lead.
Oh, yes, it's lovely, isn't it?
Because she misses all the worst of the weather.
She does indeed.
And Malaga's not all that hot in November, but it's a hell of a lot warmer than here.
Well, anything's warmer than here in November. Especially this November.
I was down in Donegal on Monday, and I swear I nearly died of exposure. It was unbelievably cold, and sleet was going horizontal across the tundra.
I was down in Port Stewart last weekend, and it was absolutely beautiful.
I know it changed for the worse on Sunday, I think.
It did.
Anyway, what did you say again? What's her name again?
Her name is Doris, Mrs. Doris Brobyn.
Doris
Brobyn.
And when is her birthday?
Her birthday's today,
and
she listens to your programme in Spain every morning. She wouldn't miss you.
God bless her. Can she do that? Oh, of course she can. Of
yes,
course she can
yes,
do that. Sometimes you can't listen to the iPlayer thing if you're in another country, but you can listen to your live feed. Okay, well, thank you very much. And would she not invite you out with her? Maybe?
Oh, yes, I have been out. Yes, I have been out. Her whole place is beautiful. Her summer home's beautiful.
Just the two of you out there?
No, her husband, her is out there, and then her family goes over.
He ruins the whole thing. The two of you on your own, you could have great fun.
Oh, we could have a ball.
Whee!
Here, you're short of golf balls.
No, it's him in there.
Oh, was it him in there?
Him,
well, tell him we sell plenty in our hospice shop in Glengormley if he wishes to.
Hospice shop in Glengormley? Where's that now exactly?
In our hospice shop.
Yeah, whereabouts? In
It's just up there at the crossroads in the village, you know.
Well,
Crossroads, the village.
Jerry will be in Belfast on Friday. Maybe you'll call in and get me half a dozen,
I'll
Jerry.
pick you up a few orbs.
Will you?
All right, then, I will certainly not. Okay, thank you very much, my dear.
Thank you very much. Take care. Enjoyed your American accent.
Thank you very much. I'm working at it.
Cheerio for now.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye. Will you
Thanks a
please
million.
play? Will you please play a birthday request on Tuesday, the 8th of March, for the Isle Lad running machine Paul Agnew for his half-ton birthday? That'll be 50 years old. He'll be now. Preferably Michelle Shocked Anchorage. All the best from Skinhead and Wide Load.
There's another wee call on.
Oh, great. I wish you were happy when I enjoyed myself instead of being miserable.
No, I'm quite happy.
No, you don't like when I enjoy myself. You
No,
always
no.
suspect there's something bad coming.
You know what I have noticed now?
Wow.
I don't have to blow my porridge now. I can eat it all at once.
We'll just leave it at that. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, hello, how are you?
I'm the very best. That's an awful American accent.
It's not supposed to be an American accent. It's an accent of a guy from here who's been in America for quite a long time and has been successful and is coming back and talking to us on the radio and television. As a matter of fact, the best accent is what do you call the flute player? James Galway. He's James Galway's different. James talks like that. He's saying, I'm playing with the Berlin Philharmonic with Herbert von Karajan. You see, that's a different type of thing.
What about
I'm always very happy to play on the Ulster Hall because they've done it up remarkably well. One of the first times I played the flute was in the Ulster Hall, and I said to myself, my God, they've really worked this place to a T.
What about Eamon? It's all about you, isn't
It
it?
is all about me. Where's Eamon?
He's in Ballymena.
Is he? Yeah. Well, why doesn't he ring up and talk to me?
He's there.
Oh, is he here? What's his name again?
I was talking to you, but you went off on a James Galway spiel.
I'm sorry, this is what happens to me.
I'm from Cushendall. I'm not from Ballymena.
Oh, don't be so pushy. All right, then.
It's
What
an
can we
old
do?
stomping ground of your old friend, Tony Macaulay.
Oh, Tony, I was just thinking about him the other day. Do you know what we were doing? Remember what we were doing the other day, Sean? And we were doing what he used to do? Holy.
I don't remember.
Remember?
No.
I don't remember that conversation.
No, I don't remember that.
Tony used to always do a particular thing. If you said something that was unusual, he'd say, holy.
That's
And he'd have another word.
That's right.
Holy.
You better not repeat that.
No, he was great.
Right then.
Tony
No, Tony,
Macaulay was a great
Tony,
person.
Tony was a great. And Tony, may I say this? Do you mind if I say this?
Me?
Yes.
No, I don't mind.
I've only ever won 2 major awards for television. And one of them was with Tony. My first ever major award for television was with Tony. We won the documentary prize in the, what do you call the Celtic Film Festival.
What was that for?
It was for a documentary I made about how much I love show bands.
Oh, you see, yes.
It was from the heart.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you know Tony?
I knew Tony quite well. He had the most beautiful Loudon guitar I ever heard in my life.
I wonder whatever happened to that.
I think it's still, the family still have it, but it's the most
course they
beautiful.
have.
He was a lovely guitar player.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely guitar player.
And he had a
he had a
beautiful-
caravan down here in the summer,
Uh-huh.
and he spent a lot of time down here. Gerry, anyway, I'll tell you what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a white fungus.
Are you?
Indeed.
Well, I know a number of students' flats in Belfast. You're
that
welcome
kind
to
of-
go into the
not that
bathroom
kind
and
of
you see all the
fungus, no.
fungus you want.
This is purely medicinal.
Yes, and tell me about the white fungus.
I don't know an awful lot about it. I had it years ago. It was very, very good for curing heartburn.
Heartburn.
It was brilliant for it. What it was it was like a white broccoli, and what you did was you put it into a bowl and you put milk, filled the bowl full of milk. You then put it into the fridge, and you left it there for 24 hours. When you took it out of the fridge again, you poured the milk out of the bowl into a cup or a glass. You drank it. Then you repeated the process with the milk and put it in, and the fungus actually, it grew, and after a while you had to keep separating it because it became very, very big.
I can't imagine what that would taste like.
It doesn't taste that bad, really.
Does it not? What does it taste like?
Well, if you put a wee bit of brandy in it, it tastes wonderful.
Oh, you put a wee bit of brandy in anything. It improves it
Is
immensely.
that not Carrigan moss?
It's a Chinese fungus, and I had it years and years ago, and I gave it to somebody, and sadly they're not here anymore. And I was wondering if anybody about has it.
Carrigan moss, the Chinese version of it. That'd be Kagama.
Well, where did you get this stuff in?
I got it from a I got it from a lady years and years and years ago.
But you can't buy it. You can't get it in the chemist.
No,
can you?
and I've been looking the web, but that's all you get is that stuff Gerry was talking about. And in Belfast.
Yeah. Okay. So the white fungus, you don't know what it's called, really?
No, I don't think there's a name for it. All I ever heard it called was white fungus.
White fungus, yeah. All right then.
But it thrives in milk, and it can grow to an awful size. You start with something very, very small, and it really, really grows.
Sounds like a little shop of horrors. Remember Audrey the
and
plant?
it has very, very good medicinal purposes.
All right then. Okay. And heartburn is the thing that, is very annoying, but obviously not a serious complaint. But you wouldn't want to have heartburn all day, would you?
You certainly would not.
Although it does you no harm, I suppose. But you don't want to have it all day. You want something to remedy that. And I bet you there's a lot of people pricking up their ears when they hear of a cure for heartburn.
I've never experienced heartburn.
Have you not?
No, don't know what heartburn is
Because
at all.
you've
I know
no-
what it is, but I've never experienced
It only affects old people.
Aha.
That's because you have no.
Amen.
It's because you have no heart.
Did you try the Chinese herbal shop?
Yeah,
You tried that, okay.
Right. Okay.
try them all.
Right. So white fungus. Anybody knows what that's called? Not carrageen moss. White fungus. Sorry, I forget. Did you tell me where you got it in the first place?
I got it from a lady.
That's right.
I think it originally came from County Down. But it's been, somebody gets a bit and somebody else gets a bit and somebody else gets a bit.
And then other people don't get a bit
Yeah.
at all.
And
All right.
after, it can grow to an awful size. So after a while, people keep a little bit for themselves and then they give it away.
Tibetan mushroom. That's what
No, it's not a mushroom.
That's what it's called. A man says. Is that right, Janet? Janet said that someone rang in. They said it's called Tibetan mushroom.
There's a wee job for Janet. Janet, why don't
What?
you Google Tibetan mushroom?
Why
and
don't
see
you
if
do it?
Because I'm broadcasting the program and talking to people.
But your Janet's taking calls.
Calls my arse.
You could talk to Eamon and Google Tibetan mushroom, and then you have it at first hand, right? And then you tell Eamon.
That's multitasking.
Go
What are you
on,
doing?
do
You're
it.
just sitting there scratching your arse.
I'm
What are you
talk-
doing? You're
I'm-
doing nothing.
I'm
You're
communicating.
doing nothing.
I'm receiving messages from Janet.
You're
and
receiving messages from Janet? You're receiving messages from Janet?
It's a milk mushroom. Janet's googled. It's a milk mushroom, Tibetan milk mushroom.
There we go.
Is that what it's
are
called?
you
Tibetan milk mushroom.
Yes.
Tibetan? Well, apparently so, but these people always get it wrong. See, the staff in this program, you can't listen to.
You know what I mean?
But Janet got it.
I know, okay. Right, so there's a possibility. I never believe anything you tell me, but what we're saying here that it may be Tibetan mushroom. Are you computer literate at all, sir?
I would be, yes.
Well, check that. Check out Tibetan mushroom.
I'll do that.
And,
yeah.
and have a listen, because I'm sure as the day goes on, other people will tell us what it really is,
Right.
if it's not that.
Okay.
Okay, best of
Thanks
luck.
very much, Gerry.
Might try it myself, because I have a bit of heartburn,
Yeah.
ever since, what happened.
We'll not go there.
My
No,
heart's
we'll
been
not go
burned
there.
badly.
Yeah.
All right, then. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks very much. Okay, bye.
Bye. Here's people still talking about wallets.
A caller's looking for details of the CD of the Scottish McElvis Presley.
Dean Park.
Dean Park.
Dean,
Is it
that's
Dean-
all
is
you
it-
need to know.
is
Dean
it
Park.
Dean Park or Dean Parks?
Dean
Dean
Park.
Park?
Dean Park, I think, is some kind of.
He's a DJ or a presenter.
No, I don't know what he is, but
a
his actual name. I think there's a place in Glasgow and in somewhere called Dean Park.
Oh, right.
Like
Brook Park.
Barry's Amusements or something like that. That's like somebody being called Barry Amusement.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's Dean Park. It's kind of a play on some place in Glasgow.
But he's a presenter on Radio Scotland, isn't he?
Is he?
As far
He
as
should be
I know.
ashamed of himself. That's Microlip. Has their single, which is called. Hold on a second. What's it called? I don't know what it's called. Sometimes you have to find out what it's called. Look, the thing. It's called "Dance Beneath the Feet." I'm not rambling. It's a stream of consciousness.
There's a call on one.
I'll get to it in a moment when I finish rambling. There's a person who writes to me and says, if you log on to the site of the Canadian Truckers magazine called Pro Trucker, onto the current issue and scroll down to page 36, Hugo is mentioned. I imagine so. Gerry, maybe your listeners could help an old rocker. He says, I played in a rock band called Red Biddy that appeared on a BBC TV programme called You're On, or possibly You're On. That's the same. The Sands Family appeared in the same programme. The BBC showed this programme on March 1975, and it was on RTE February 18th the same year. Oh, double tasking. The show was recorded in 1974-75. All that stuff has probably been scrapped a long time ago. Anyone by any chance got a little recording of that? Another gentleman writes me.
But I can't get it up.
So I heard. Hello, good morning.
Oh, good morning. Is that Gerry?
Yes, it is indeed.
Hi,
Yes.
Gerry. Are you in good form this morning?
I'm talking too fast.
Well, you seem happier than what you were beginning of the week. But
yesterday was a bad day for me. I was
so
all right.
terrible.
I was all right on Monday and Tuesday, but yesterday was a bad day.
You were dreadful. Anyway,
Thank you.
the lovely melody,
Yes.
the rapparees that you played,
Yes.
it's he's written new words, but the actual melody is called Russian Do.
Is that Russian Do? I
Yeah.
thought it sounded vaguely familiar, but I didn't want to be accused of plagiarisation.
Well, I worried a wee bit about
Or plagiarism.
that too, so that's why I thought, I'll have to put things right.
Mm-hmm.
But, Gerry, you ought to hear it on a full orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
It would make you cry.
Really?
It's just absolutely beautiful.
I think I have heard that before, you
Yeah,
know, because...
it was way back in the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
One of these useless bits of information.
No, it's all right. Every piece of information is valued and treasured in this programme.
Thank you. Yep. It was made. It was a documentary called Man of Iron.
Yes.
Yes, you with me? Are you with me, Gerry?
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was part of the music.
That's right, yeah. You're absolutely right.
That was on.
A very famous film and a very moving film about a civilization that was dying, yeah.
Tears, and especially when the full-blown orchestra played Russian Do. I used to have a red vinyl, but I'm afraid it's long gone. And I'll tell you what else. Anything else makes you cry? Does music make you cry?
No, I think I'm pretty much a cold fish, you know. I mean, I've never. Somebody asked me the other day, was there ever a movie that I cried at? And I had to actually say no. I've never cried on, not even Madam X.
No.
Did you ever cry at a movie, Sean? No, I tell a lie. Now that I remember, the only one movie I ever cried at was, guess what it was?
Lassie?
No. Lassie Come Home? No.
The Fighting Sullivans?
No. Well, I remember I crying at the King's Speech because I couldn't wait to get out.
So much.
Couldn't wait to get out.
Yep, so we heard. I know it was a James Stewart movie.
No. I'll tell you what movie I cried
Go
at.
on, tell us.
I cried at Bambi.
Oh, yes.
I would
You must have been about...
Remember in the forest when he's looking for his mummy?
Yes.
And
but what age were you?
He was
38.
No, were you a big lump?
What do you mean was I a big lump?
Were you a big lump? I mean...
No, I wasn't. I was kind of like 14, 15.
That's not crying. That's not crying.
Oh, I
That's
remember.
childish. That's a childish act, just. That was not crying.
A childish act?
Aye, that's not
Okay,
crying.
okay.
I remember, you see, not crying.
Well, I wish I'd remembered that the other day in the plane, actually. I was flying from in a plane the other day, and there was a child in the plane going, "Ah! Ah! Ah!" I'd been doing like that for the entire flight. And if the person had said to me, "So what's that?" I said, "Oh, that's not crying. It's a childish thing."
But see, you have to tolerate that. A child in an aeroplane, it doesn't know what's
listen
happening to it.
listen to you.
Yes.
Listen to
You must put your...
listen to Gandhi.
Put yourself in that child's nappy.
I think I'm already in it.
Yeah, no.
No,
But
but
I
I'd love
watched-
to see you sitting beside that Wayne.
Yes, you can tolerate it once you know.
Yeah, you'd be great. Yeah,
No.
you'd be so tired. I just imagine you'd be stuffing rags
A
into his
child,
mouth.
a child misbehaving is different from a child. And when a child cries, there's something wrong with it.
Yeah, but it doesn't make you feel
But a
any
child
better.
misbehaving's different.
It's crying into your ear. It's
Yeah, but
annoying
it's
you.
crying.
Oh, that's all right, little child. I know you're just doing what nature comes naturally to you. Just because you're
You don't know.
screaming
That be
and
child. It could be affecting its ears. Could have a pain in its ear or something like that. It just doesn't know what's wrong with it.
Well, it was a pain in the arse anyway.
Yes,
Tell you,
yes,
that's all I can say.
I remember watching Schindler's List
Yes.
and not realizing I was crying until I felt the tears actually running. No, I wasn't going boo hoo hoo hoo. You know what I mean? I was just sitting there watching this, and you were so overcome with emotion. I didn't realize my eyes had filled up until they started. Until I felt tears come down my cheeks. That was the last film that and the only film I cried at. Madam X. I sat through Madam X, and I felt as though I had a parsnip stuck down my throat. There's such a lump in my throat. I wanted to cry.
Sean, do you cry quietly or do you sob?
No, I know I know what he's saying because anytime I go to the movies, I always bring a parsnip with me in case I need it. A parsnip. You might have been a carrot.
I went to see of Men and Gods.
Of Gods and Men.
Oh, that's the very one. That one too.
Or maybe you went to see it backways.
Yes.
Okay.
But I've discovered that I can't cry quietly anymore in the movies. It's sort of a snort and a hiccup. Yes.
Like that? At least you're letting it out. That's healthy. That's good for you.
Yeah, I know, but not in the movies.
But what about here? Can I ask? Is it Geraldine?
Lorraine.
Sorry, Lorraine. Sorry,
Yes.
Lorraine.
Close.
Oh, sorry, Lorraine.
Yes.
Would listening to music, say a sad song, would you feel emotional listening to a sad song?
Not necessarily a sad song, Sean, but
Yes.
just yes, yep. I would cry over Russian Do.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what else makes me cry.
What?
The Boyne water.
What?
The Boyne water.
Just looking at it. What?
No,
What's
the
that?
music.
Oh.
The Ulster Orchestra played the
Oh,
Boyne water
right.
last year.
So I'm just letting you hang yourself here.
No, it's all right. Yeah.
I always cry looking into the Boyne. You know, especially with the
the
weir there.
The melody in a full orchestra.
Yes.
A drunken orchestra, you mean?
No, the Ulster Orchestra. Oh, they'll not like that.
A full orchestra.
And they played the Boyne water, and it was fabulous.
Boyne water is beautiful.
Yes.
It's absolutely
so
beautiful.
that made me cry.
You see,
But I'm going to have a wee request.
That's okay.
Can I tell you this, Lorraine, just
Yes,
before you
yes,
go?
Sean.
Just I feel as though I want to say this to you, if you don't mind, if Gerry allows me.
Yes.
I was watching television last night. I was watching the football match, and then when it was over, I said, I wonder what else is on that a man could watch. You see, I was just about to turn the TV off, which I did do eventually. But I looked and I walked the line. Know that from Johnny Cash
Yes.
film? That was on,
Yes.
and I couldn't watch that because I tried to watch it before.
Yes.
And the fact that he left his wife,
Yes.
I couldn't forgive him.
Yes.
And it was too sad. And there was children, and there was wee children involved. And he walked out in his family, and I says, no, I couldn't watch that.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
turned the TV off rather than watch Johnny
Rather
Cash
than
walk out
watch
his
it,
family.
yes.
Yeah, I couldn't watch it.
Yep. That I can.
'Cause
that
I knew
I
it was sad.
completely understand.
It
But
was sad.
But there's a lovely this I would love you to play for me if your man has it. Ray Davies,
Yes, what?
you
Yes.
know, from the Kinks.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
He's made a lovely CD called "See My Friends."
Yes.
People like Bruce Springsteen and our own Gary Lightbody, you know, they're singing the Kinks' old songs.
Aye.
But on track number 3, it's called Days.
Days, yes.
Thank you for the
This
days.
time
Look,
tomorrow,
Kelly's
and
released
Mumford
that.
and Son.
Hey?
Mumford and Son and Ray Davies sing this.
I bet you that'd be good.
Well, could we get that?
Who wrote
that?
that? Kirsty McCall. Did she not write that?
She sang
Thank you
it,
for the
anyway.
days. Or did
No,
Ray Davies wrote
she
that?
recorded
sang
it.
but
Oh,
Ray
that's
Davies
right.
wrote
Yeah,
it.
there we go. She learns something every day.
You do.
Well, that's
I'm
great.
glad I'm to tell you because you're always telling us stuff.
No, I don't. Well,
Well, you tell stuff nicely.
nicely.
Do
Thank
you want the Kinks singing Days?
No, I want to hear Ray Davies and Mumford and Son
All right then.
All
from
right
the
then.
CD "See My Friends."
See my friend.
Right then. Okay. Listen, lovely to talk to you, and
Yes, you too.
interesting
Yep,
conversation.
Absolutely. Yep.
Thank
you.
you.
Know, music and everything about you's brilliant. So I got a great lot of pleasure listening to you, and Sean too.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. That lady's right, you know, and it's very, very comforting to know that you've got a heart. And when you're in the movie, you always have a lump in your throat, and then I thought it was just a hump in your back.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. And do you know the worst thing I think? The worst thing is being thought, predictable.
You stopped listening to Lorraine?
Yeah, halfway
I
through.
noticed that.
I know.
And I was just thinking of some of the things that I don't like in people, and one of them is
People who stop listening.
people, bad listeners. There's nothing worse than
I'm
you
a good
talking-
listener until
No,
I switch off.
Yes, and I just thought about this last night. There's only about, I would say, 5 people that I could think of that you listen to when they're talking to you.
Yeah.
Other people, they would get maybe a couple of minutes of your time, and then you just switch off immediately. You're a very poor listener when it suits you.
I know. I can't help it. It's in my genes. A lady has sent me this selection of famous quotes by Gerry Anderson. Somebody sent me something like this before, but this is a very comprehensive one. And it's terrible to think that a man is so predictable. I'm just going to read some of these.
We're getting you that song, by the way.
What song?
The Kinks.
I don't want it.
Ray Davis.
I don't want it.
But it's not you, it's Lorraine wants it.
I know, but I don't want to play it. Why don't you play it?
But Lorraine doesn't hear the wee programme.
I know, but she should, because that's where all the stuff is that she likes.
But why didn't you
I
play it?
I don't want to play it. I don't want to. Stop
see-
getting things for me to play. I have plenty of good things for you to play on my own.
But when you were off,
I could eat malt.
I played.
What?
When you were off, I played the things that people wanted to hear.
I know, but that's the mistake that you make. You see, the people that want to hear music.
But Lorraine wants to hear that song.
I know, but you do it in your program because
we
that's
have
where
it
you
here
hear
for
things.
we have
I
the
know, but
facility to.
you play that in your own program because that's where people go to hear things that they want to hear. They don't go here to hear things that they want to hear because they know that I won't play the things that they want to hear because I don't want to hear them.
Janet has sent it to you.
Well, tell Janet that I'll have to reject it. I'm
so
sorry.
Hateful.
I could eat Maltesers to a band playing. When I hear the clink of a banjo, something happens to me. Once you've been to Italy, you can never go back to Spain. I'm a joke-free person because I don't know when to laugh. There's loads of these. Loads. I'm not going to read them out. This is amazing. This is like a story of your whole life. Anyway, I just thought I'd read them out.
You see, you'd started a song. I thought it was a letter you'd started.
No.
Okay, thank you.
No, it
You
isn't.
see, you never explained that to us. I wasn't ready for that.
I know, you're not ready for anything. One of the reasons, says Mike, I really like your show is because you always find great new artists and share them with us. Question. I want you to answer this. Do you think some people are simply born with incredible musical ability, or is it more the result of hard work and a passion for music that one develops through life? I tend to think that certain people are born with a musical side, but that seems a bit unfair to the rest of us. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts regarding this. That says Mike in Texas. Well, actually, that's a very interesting question, Mike, and I may answer it sometime, but I'll just answer it kind of briefly by saying that there are people who are born who are musical geniuses, and sometimes they don't particularly like music. I know people who are musical geniuses who never listen to music, are not really interested in it, but they can play anything. And it's not fair, you're right. The world is ill-divided. I blame God. He's some cheek on him. Making people talented who don't like music.